Hi, welcome to Moonbeam Connections. I'm Jacqui-Leigh. Today on Shift Happens, Life in Transition, we're going to look at should you start a new gig or a side gig. Now, understand when I say should, I have an understanding with spirit that when I say should, what I mean is highest and greatest good, because there's no should. There's no should do anything, right? It's all about, is it in my highest and greatest good or is it not in my highest and greatest good? So we are asking, is starting a side gig in my highest and greatest good? And we're going to see what Spirit has to say about it right away here. So we're asking for one card, and there we go, and we got it. And what does it say? Ooh, reverse the lovers. Okay, so I would take this as a no. Lovers is a yes, but this is a no. And so when lovers is reversed, it's about an imbalance, being in disharmony, having temptations, but it's not good temptations, right? It's being tempted by something negative. So if you were thinking about starting some kind of side gig, because you think you're going to get something out of it. I can't really think of an example at the moment, but it's for a selfish reason, and obviously you want to start a side gig because you like something, you enjoy something, but also you want to make some money out of it, whatever it is. But what this is saying is this is not the side gig for you, right? So even though you may feel like, oh, this is a good opportunity to make money or do this or do that or do that, it's not what's meant for you. And it may be a good opportunity for other people, right? But it would be like, if you're really into frogs, let's say you're really into frogs and somebody wants to start a bird sanctuary. And you're like, okay, well, yeah, this is a good opportunity. I could start this bird sanctuary, but it's like, you know nothing about birds. You're not interested in birds. You don't care about birds. Maybe a frog sanctuary or a like wetland sanctuary type thing, where you would support the frogs. Like that might be a better choice for you. So it's not necessarily that a side gig is a bad thing. It may just be that this particular side gig is not meant for you. So the lovers can be about, making a bad choice or being in conflict, right? When lovers is upright, it's about union and having choices and being in harmony. We flip it, we're in disharmony, we're imbalanced, we're having these temptations, but they're not good for us, right? Like a temptation would be like to drink alcohol. Say in the morning, I'm tempted to drink alcohol before work. Well, that's not a good thing. If you have alcoholic drink after work, that's okay. But before work, not okay. So I would look at it that way. And lovers is about choices, right? So there's choices here. This just might not be the right one. So I'm not saying that a side gig is bad. I'm saying that how you've imagined this or what this particular side gig is or how you've imagined it is not the right choice. It's not a good choice, right? It may cause an imbalance. Maybe if you do this side gig, it's going to take up way too much of your time and you're going to neglect work, your career, and you're going to neglect your family and you're going to neglect your friends. And so that's not good. You need a side gig that'll fit into your lifestyle. Or maybe, again, you're just not aligned with this side gig. Will cause some disharmony. There could be some indecisions around it. It could be bad choices around it, that sort of thing. But anyways, what this card is saying, whatever this particular side gig that you were thinking about doing, not a great choice for you. So let's see what your next step should be. That's what we're going to get, your next step. Because if we've now decided that this is not a good choice, this particular side gig, where do we head, right? Is it that, you've had this opportunity and you think it's going to be a good one and it's just not going to be a good one? Or you've had this opportunity but it just doesn't align with you? So we've got the Four of Wands. And Four of Wands, this is actually the marriage card. Funny? We got the Lovers and the marriage card. Interesting, on a side gig business. I don't know what this side gig is. Maybe it's a matchmaker business. But so this is the Four of Wands. It is the marriage card. It's about creating that stability, creating that foundation, celebrating together, having harmony, having a happy home life. I've got these four pillars of my life, and this is stable, right? I'm stabilizing this, and I'm going to celebrate, and I'm going to feel the joy of that stability, and I'm going to, within this stability that I've created inside, I'm going to have like this happy, harmonious, cheerful life or like relationships but also a committed, like where it's actually commitment. So maybe if this side gig, maybe the problem is you're not going to be fully committed, or maybe you want to go in with a partner and your partner's not going to be fully committed, and that could definitely be with this, like, because lovers is obviously about partnerships. And also about choices. So it may just be that whoever you're going into the side gig with is not the right partner. It's not the right person for you. And what this card is saying is your next step is actually to stabilize things, to find a stable foundation. So if you were going into this side gig with a person and this relationship is not going to be good, so now maybe you're going to find a partner who will allow, right? And this would say a partnership, right? So maybe you're going to find a different partner who aligns more with you. Or maybe you weren't going to have a partner. I'm going to do it all on my own, but there's way too much work to do it on your own. So now you find a partner so that you can sort of stabilize the operations, right? Have that solid foundation to now launch your side gig with. But your next step really is finding your stability, whatever that is. And this is definitely focusing towards like your home life. So finding that stability within your home life before you start taking these other steps. Find harmony within your home life before you make decisions, which is, this is the lover's card. Right? So there's something about this side gig, whatever you're doing, whether you were going to go alone, but you should go with somebody else. Whether you're going with somebody else, you should go alone. Whether you're going with this person, but you should be going with that person. You know, there's something, but it's not, your next step is to find this union, to find somebody that you can create this stability with. And it could just be within yourself. But the fact that we're sort of have this marriage card here, this is about unions. This card is about unions too. I would say it's about finding a stable partner. So whether that's a different partner or just a partner, it's about finding this stability. And this card can also be about homecoming. So it may be that you were going to start this side gig and you were going to immediately go out and rent this business space and start doing it from that business space. And what Spirit's saying is that's a bad decision. That's not a good idea. We need to rethink this and start it from home. Start the business within your home. Don't go rent something that you now have to pay for. And right away, you need to be making money and doing things. And now you're stressed out and you're not doing it for the joy of it. You're not doing it for, what's best for the side gig. You're doing it because I just need more money. I got to pay the bills. I got to pay the bills. I got to pay the bills. Whereas if you start it within your own four walls, get it going, start making money, start, having accumulation, savings, having success, having more and more clients, having more and more whatever product go out. And as you build that stability within your four walls, within your home, suddenly now you have the ability to go out and rent a space or buy a space, because now you have this consistent income and okay, whatever, say I'm making $5,000 a month on my side gig and the rent here is going to be $1,000 a month. Well, I know I can easily cover that. I know I can first create an emergency fund with the funds that I have coming in before I go and I rent that place or before I go and I buy that place, so that everything is stable as you move forward. So let's get your next step after you stabilize things. Let's try that. So, King of Swords. Okay, so after we've stabilized things, we're going to jump to the King of Swords, which is all about being an authority figure, being logical, having that integrity. It's about using your head sort of more than your heart, right? Being logical about things. And so what I would say Spirit is saying to you is whatever choice you were about to make, not the right one, we need to make some changes to it, right? I'm not saying the whole thing is bad or wrong. I'm saying how you were about to do it is not good. We need to stabilize things. And then the next step is, once we're stable and we have our foundation, is we are going to use our logical brain. We are going to not use our heart. And we always have to use our hearts. The heart has to be there. But what I mean is, We're not going to make decisions because, ooh, I like that. I love that. I love that. I just want that. And then it's like, yeah, you're the only one though. And if you bring that into the business, it's going to make the business fail, right? So we want to make these logical steps. Like, I'm not going to go out and, as soon as I get my business up and running, I'm not going to go out and rent $1 million building, right? I'm not going to pay $10,000 a month for rent when I have only $5,000 a month even coming in, and I can't even spend that all on rent. So it's making these logical decisions even when your heart may want something different. So you may like, oh, but that building is so beautiful and it's at a good location and I really want it and I think we could be successful there. And it's like, we got to let that logic come in and be like, no, the business isn't at a place right now where we should be renting that building. Maybe we rent something small nearby, and then as we expand, we will eventually expand and we can end up in that building. And so I'll rent something nearby. That way, when I eventually in 5, 10, whatever it is, move to that building or have the ability to move that building, we'll be so close by, it won't be an issue for customers, clients, whatever it is. Your advice, your steps is stabilize things, create that solid foundation, and then make sure you're using your head and you're making logical decisions within this business. This isn't about, your heart. And I don't want to take the heart fully out of it. We're not going to be, a tyrant or a horrible person or manipulative, right? This is about using our head, standing in our authority, right? You know your business more than anyone else, standing in integrity too, right? We're making decisions that uphold our integrity, that uphold our values. We're not going to make decisions that don't uphold our values. And let's see if you do these steps, what the outcome of this business venture, this new side gig, I guess it doesn't have to be a business, but this side gig thing that you want to do. So let's see what the outcome will be if we take these. Oh. That's a little too many cards. We're going to try again. If they want to come out, they'll come out again. So please, what will the outcome of this side gig be? And of course, it could be different. And just because this side gig, this one may not be successful, it may lead you to the successful one, if you know what I mean. It may be that this side gig that you're about to venture on, it's not going to be successful, but because you did this, you had the knowledge, started this other one, and it was super successful. But if you never did this failure one, you never would have got the super successful one, right? Failure is not failure. Failure is a learning opportunity, and you either take the lessons and you move forward and into better and brighter things, or you don't take the lessons and you move backwards. Okay, and so the outcome is actually going to be some delay, miscommunication, chaos, frustration, panicking, but it can also be slowing down. And so what I'd say is understand that this is not going to go as fast as you want it to go. And you need to make sure that you are communicating appropriately, right? Stand in that logic, stand in that integrity, stand in that authority, and communicate appropriately. Because right now, what this is saying is that you're going to face frustrations. You're going to face delays. Things are going to move slower than what you want. There's going to be miscommunication between you and others. And so my advice for this card, since this is right now the trajectory of the outcome, we've stabilized things, we're using our logic, and our outcome is we face delays, we face frustration, we face some miscommunication issues. And so now that you're aware of this, you're going to understand when you're facing these delays, it's likely because you're making logical decisions. You're not just jumping ahead 10 steps. You're going step by step by step. We're not going to take things out of order, right? You're facing miscommunication. That might be something you really want to work on and sort of making sure that everything is clarified, making sure that everybody has an understanding what their roles are, what you need, what they need, how things are going to work. And then just understand that things are probably going to go a lot slower than you want. This isn't like a negative card or anything. This is just things are going to go slow and there may be some miscommunications along the way. So whether that's miscommunication could even be that you told everybody it's going to go like this and now it's going really slow and you're frustrated and people are like, well, you said it was going to go faster. You said things were going to be different, right? And so just understand that this is your side gig is going slow. It's going to unfold slowly. And honestly, slow is probably better, right? You all of a sudden it explodes and now you don't have the resources to keep up. You need to expand quickly. You start, hiring other people, buying things. You start making bad decisions because you're rushing, right? So these bad decisions come when we rush, which is what our warning is with this gig. This side gig in the first place is about making bad choices, bad decisions. So understand slowing things down, growing slowly. I mean, you'd much rather, you could start this business today, 6 months from now, you're $1 million company. And then 6 months later, you've actually collapsed in on yourself because you expanded too quick, you hired too much, you projected too far, whatever it is, and the whole thing collapses on you. Whereas a year from now, you might be making 10 grand at your side gig, but then 20 the next year, then 60, then 200, then 500, and slowly but surely over the years, you build this business to $1 million business. But now it's completely stable. Now you have control over every single aspect of what's going on within this business, this side gig. You've already gone through these pitfalls. I tried to hire somebody to do this and that just didn't work. I had to keep this, or I was trying to do all this by myself, but I realized I have to hire, but when you do things on a smaller scale, like instead of I'm going to expand, I'm going to hire 10 people today, and then that all collapses in on you versus I'm hiring one person today. 2 years from now, I'll hire a second person. Then the next year, I'll hire a third, maybe the next year, fourth, and you're slowly building things, having people have their roles, their lanes. And so just realize you are going to face frustrations. I mean, that's any kind of side gig business thing. I mean, you're just going to face frustrations. Nothing ever goes the way people want it to go, right? Things go the way they go, and that's the way it happens. But just understand there are going to be some delays. Things are going to feel slow, but that's okay, right? And none of these cards actually none of them are really negative. Even the Lover's upside down is just, being imbalanced in life, or not making a choice that you need to make, or being tempted by something that you should really just leave behind. And so if you're aware of that and aware that you're being tempted right now by something you should actually just leave behind, but that if you create a stable foundation, stay within the logic and reason, understand there's going to be slowdowns, there's going to be delays, you'll be okay. So I am going to get a message card for you, message oracle card. This deck just has messages in it. I tend to use it a lot because it's pretty straightforward. But we shall see what message wants to come out about the side gig. So as I say, the answer overall is, should I do this side gig, is no. But it's not, no, absolutely don't do this. It's not in its present form that you're thinking of. That is not the form you should think of. So if you're thinking, I'm just going to go all in and spend a bunch of money and set everything up, not the way to do it. Slow, stability, foundations, logic, that's the way to do it. And that's the way you're going to end up being successful. And there we go. And here's our message. Ooh, we got two. So you have the power to create the life you love. Remember that. Okay, so it's saying you have the power. You have the power to create this side gig business thing that you want. Okay, just make sure you're making the right choices, right? Making choices that align you with your higher purpose, that create harmony, that create union. Ensure that those are the choices you make based off logic and stability. And if you do that, you will be able to create what you want. So you have the power to create this. Okay, we just need to make the right decisions. And when you find something that excites you, go all in and enjoy the ride. Okay, so now you're thinking about this side gig, maybe something that excites you. It's telling you to go all in and enjoy the ride. But what I'm saying is, it needs a twist. Okay, so we're thinking about a side gig. The current form you're thinking of is not correct for whatever reason. You're going too big, too fast. You're doing A when you should be doing B. Whatever it is, it's not quite aligned. But this is not saying that you can't be aligned with a side gig. This is saying you have the power to create the life that you love. So you do have this power, But you need to find that thing that really does excite you, that really does align with you, right? So if this is just somebody else that wants to do this side gig and you thought, I've been thinking about doing a side gig for a while, it's kind of like what I want to do, so I'll just go along with it. No, you have the power to create what you want. So you are going to step into your power, create what you want, and when you're going to find it excites you, you're going to go all in, right? And that's how we do. When you find something that like really sparks you, you go all in, you work harder, you enjoy the ride, right? So just look at this from a different perspective. Look at the choices you're making. Look at what you're thinking about doing versus what you really feel you should be doing, and realize that you have the power to do this yourself. So if that's what it is, well, someone's offering you to go in on their side gig and it's kind of sort of what you want, but you not really, but you're too afraid to go in your own, make your own choices and go your own way, so you'll just follow them. That's not standing in your power, right? Standing in your power is being like, yeah, that's a pretty cool idea, but you know what? I want to do this. This is what excites me. This is what I enjoy. This is what I feel I can make a difference in the world, or I feel I can be successful at, whatever it is. So you do have the power to create the side gig you want. And once you find that thing that excites you, just go for it and enjoy it. Enjoy the ride, okay? This isn't about the final destination. So when things go slow and when you're having these frustrations, you're going to realize I'm enjoying the ride. Things are going slow because that is what is going to lead me to success. If I go too fast, we're not going to be successful, even though I feel in that moment it's success. It's not when it all crashes down, right? So we're going to understand things are moving slow, but that's the best way, because we're going to create a solid foundation and make logical decisions, even when it's like, no, do this, quick. We're going to be like, no, we're going to slow it down, create the stability, use the logic, not get swept up in things, and I will find my place. And once I find my place, find my side gig that suits me, that's for my highest purposes, the path I belong on, then I will be successful and I will build it slowly, creating the foundations, right? So I hope this message helped you. I'm sending you peace, love, and happiness. Bye for now.